Right, we're good. All right, sweet. We're live. I don't know if anybody's watching right now, but hopefully, I'm pretty sure my girlfriend is. So hi, Ashley. All right, so Raigan Burns. It is.
Yep.
I'm so hyped to talk to you. Like this is.
Oh.
Like I've been trying to keep it down while we've been testing and stuff, but this is such an honor, dude. You have no idea.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, I just realized I need to change my keys again.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Well, thanks for having me. Actually, the other half of the company, Mare, is here too. Like, we're the two that made the original web version, and we made Nplusplus and stuff.
That's sick. Hi. Hello.
She doesn't have headphones, so she can't hear, but she says.
Dude, that is fine. It's nice to meet you too. It is just as nice to meet you, I promise. Oh man. All right, so first question. All right, so okay, where the hell did you come up with an idea for this?
Where did we come up with an idea? I mean, they're definitely like the one. God, it's really hard to play and talk at the same time. I should have thought of it. So part of it, like the actual idea was we knew we wanted to make a platformer, and when we started, it was going to be a stealth game. And
okay.
Like we were going to be a ninja sneaking around. I think we had been playing some Tenshu at that point, or I forget where that idea came from. But once we coded the movement physics, we realized it was way more fun to just run around acrobatically instead of being stealthy. So we kind of shifted gears on what the game was going to be. But in terms of like inspirations and stuff, we like in the early 2000s we were playing a lot of freeware.
Gotcha.
And so like the four games that we kind of based this game on were like a game called Soldat that's kind of like side view Counter-Strike that had really cool movement physics, and a game called Super Bubble Blob that was kind of like a puzzly platformer where you could climb up walls. I mean, we really liked how fluid the wall jumping was in that game, so we were definitely inspired by that.
Gotcha.
And there was a game called Zone Runner. It was like a really basic platformer where all you did was run around. Oh crap! Oh, okay. All you did was run around and collect coins, and because we were kind of like, we always had these big ideas, but playing Zone Runner made us see like actually, if the game is fun, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like you can make it just about running around and collecting coins, and that's still. You can end up with a great game still.
Yeah, no, very clearly, this game is. Oh god, I can't
and then
so many hours on Nplus.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and like the last inspiration was this Japanese freeware game called Puchuara no Boken, where it was just really zoomed out, and your character was a little stick figure, and we really liked that sense of scale. Like the levels can feel really vast that way. So those are the inspirations. But yeah.
So really, the only reason it's a ninja is because you started as a stealth game, and then from there it just derailed.
Yeah, I mean,
sick.
I forget when we came up with the name, but at some point we realized the perfect name for a. Oh, damn it! Oh no! Wait! Oh no! That could have been. Oh, it's gonna be close.
Did you beat me?
Oh, shit!
Oh my god! I beat a developer at his own game.
Well, that was close. But yeah, like once we had the name N, we were like, okay, well, it should still be a ninja. Like, and also you're a little black stick figure. Like, we just thought it gave the game a bit more character to say it was a ninja, and also it was funny, like
Yeah, no, this is
ninjas and robots. And...
Here's my first like actual question that's like personal. It's not like generic. Like, where's the inspiration? Like,
yeah. Because we actually worked with a developer from Vancouver called Slick to make Nplus, where we did like the level design and like direction, but they did the actual programming. Mm-hmm. And also like I think most of the graphics. Maybe we did the particle effects. It's been a long time. Yeah. But anyway, so like they actually did a lot of the different ninja characters, like Afro Ninja, and whereas like they would just come up with things and send it to us. We'd be like, okay, that sounds fun. So yeah, but like. Nplus is a bit awkward because we really wanted it to be single screen like this one, but we have to support SD TVs,
right.
So we had to add the zooming, and but like we think that the game really doesn't work with zooming because you can't, like, sometimes you're getting shot at by things you can't even see. So
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of complaints from N Plus about like, oh, we can't even see what's coming.
Yeah.
The guy I streamed with the other time, Kevin, he's notorious in our friend group for just complaining about everything. Oh, it's the lag every time. Oh. Ooh.
I thought you would go left, so I went right. But...
Yeah. Man. Oh God.
Oh,
okay.
That was lucky. I totally didn't think that thing was.
If it works, it works. Don't question it if it works. So wait, I had no idea there was a game before N Plus just called N. Was that just a strictly PC game?
Yeah, it was actually Flash. So
it was like Flash.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did I miss it?
It was, I think it was like on Addicting Games and all those websites.
Gotcha.
And like Congregate, and wait.
My controller died.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Wait, I'll just use the keyboard. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. But yeah. So like it was when we graduated university. We've been trying to make games for a few years, but like we were still just kind of learning the basics. And so, you know, when we made the original N, we didn't really like. It was made for, there was like a Flash Games contest, and we made it for that. And we ended up like we made this game, and we're like, actually, it's pretty fun. And like one of our the only person who tested it really was one of our friends, Scott, who was like just over at our apartment at the time, and he was playing a lot of it. And so we were like, oh yeah, okay, maybe this is good. And then we submitted it to the contest, and we didn't even make the finals. The winner was like Starsky and Hutch Pinball. So then we kind of felt a bit depressed about it. And so we were just like, well, whatever, you know, and we put it up on our website, like just as like a free download, and like we emailed our friends. And then like over the next 2 years, it just kind of slowly spread, and we started getting emails from people who like asking for features, because it was like the first version was really, really rough. Like it was, oh, I'm sorry, crap, did I leave?
Yeah,
sorry.
you're good.
And so like people would email us, and we were like really, it was really awesome, because we were really inspired by freeware. So it was really cool to feel like we were like giving back and inspiring other people. And so when they would write to like ask for feature requests or to change things, we kind of keep incrementally improving the game. And eventually, like the point that we realized that people really liked this game was we had 2 roommates, and they had friends who were in a band who were touring, and they were like crashing at our place for one weekend. And the drummer like grabbed us and took us over to the computer. Was like, I got to show you guys this game. You're gonna really love it. And it was N. And we were like, we thought our roommates put them up to it, because we were like, wait, you're kidding, right? Because like, and so yeah, then we're like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like somehow this guy from Halifax, which is like across the country from us, found out about it. And so then we entered it into like the Independent Games Festival, and it won the Audience Choice Award. And someone at Microsoft found out about it because of that. A guy called Ross Erickson, and he emailed us and was like, hey, do you guys want to make a version for the 360 for Live Arcade? Which is like, at the time, Live Arcade was like a new thing.
Right. This was what, like early 2006, I think?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, honestly, I think it was actually a year before that, because what happened was Ross Erickson was like, hey, do you want to meet and talk about getting in on Xbox? And we're like, we wrote back, we're like, yes, let's meet at the Game Developers Conference. And then we never heard back from him.
Oh.
so we're just like, oh no, like what happened? But then during that year, he had a meeting with someone else, with a Canadian developer called Clay. And we were friends with Jamie from Clay. And so he put us in touch with Ross again. And this time we did, like, so the next year, we did have a meeting. Oh, you got greedy.
I did, absolutely.
Then we hooked up, and then we started talking. And it was really cool, because, like, he really understood what we liked about the game. And because, like, there's always been, like, this pressure, like, make it 3D, you know, blah, blah, like, all this stuff that we thought would just make the game worse. So it was really cool that he was super into keeping it 2D, and he was really a fan of Lode Runner, which is like definitely one of our like classic game inspirations.
Ooh, wow. No, you're good. It's such a smooth play. I didn't realize what was happening. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. You juke me, I juke you. We're even now.
Nice. Yeah. So and then like we basically, I don't know, just like a crazy kind of year or so making N+. And
how long did it take to make N+?
I mean, I think it took, the whole process was like maybe a year and a half, but the first, like a lot of the first few months of that was just us kind of making levels and waiting, because what happened was we needed to get a loan, and the Canadian government has like media loans for like making movies or games.
Right.
And so we got approved for a loan to pay the people who were going to program, but they wouldn't, like the government wouldn't give us the money until we got a signature on the contract from Microsoft.
Something's burning with
And Ross, the guy that signed us, had left Microsoft to go somewhere else, and we couldn't get anyone to sign our contract. Like we had the contract, but no one would sign it for like I think it was like 6 months. So it was really stressful. But like eventually we got the money, and then we hired the programmers, and then it was just 9 months of, and it was even like more work than we thought. Like first of all, we of course underestimated how much work it is to make a like professional game.
Right.
But also because at that point we expected to have got the loan, so we had like quit our jobs. We were kind of running out of money. So in order to like pay for us to live while we made the 360 version, we ended up licensing the handheld rights to Atari, who did a DS and PSP version. But the problem is, the people that they hired like didn't want to pay people to make levels, and we found out they were paying people $20 per level to make levels, which is that's not how you do level design, right? You don't want to be paying people like a bulk. Anyways, so we didn't want fans of N who bought the game to like be really pissed off. So we said, okay, you know what? We'll just make all the levels for all 3 versions. But that meant that like the summer of 2007 was like we ended up making like literally 1,000 levels in like 4 or 5 months, and we were like so burnt out at the end of that. But we somehow like we made it work, and we got it all done. It was ready to launch at the end of 2007, and then we got bumped because like the way Live Arcade works, obviously, is if you're like a company like Konami, then you can call Microsoft to be like, I want to launch on this day. So we even like we had like a launch party already, and we had like everything all scheduled, and then like a few days before it was supposed to launch, Microsoft was like, oh, by the way, Konami wanted your slots, so you're not going to launch till 2008. So we're really angry and whatever, but eventually it launched, and it was all good. And like it wasn't like a big hit initially, but over the years it just slowly spread through word of mouth. And also I think because like the multiplayer, like you pointed out, like you played it with all your friends, like people really liked the multiplayer modes, and that was something we didn't even think of. Like, to be honest, we only added it because to get on Live Arcade you had to have multiplayer, because that was kind of like Microsoft was really championing that part of the service.
Really?
Like, yeah. So every Live Arcade game had online multiplayer. It wasn't optional. And so we thought, okay, well, if we have to have online multiplayer, let's put in co-op, let's put in whatever. But it ended up being like the most fun part of the game. Like I think that this race mode is like by far the most fun way to play.
This is really fun, even though I'm getting my ass kicked now.
Yeah. so yeah, and like with 4 players, it gets like so chaotic and crazy. So like initially we were like so pissed off, like, oh, they're making us do all this stuff. But it actually turned out like for the best, because we discovered like, oh, actually, even if the game design wasn't really designed for multiplayer, it works pretty well. And we did kind of like for N++, having had the experience of
making N+.
of making N+ and of making co-op levels, we realized like if we added some new stuff that really supported players interacting in different ways, so like everything, all the new stuff like the toggle mines and the shove thwumps and stuff, they're all ways we found for 2 players to interact indirectly. So you're not like jumping on the other player, right? But like here, you hit the exit and turn to a rocket, and then you can like hunt the other player down, which is really fun.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was like a cool, like kind of dialogue where, because of this feature we didn't even want to add, it ended up like we ended up finding this really awesome area of the game design that we had never even considered before.
Right.
Which is super cool. All right, I'm just gonna play for the.
Ah, God.
Play safe. Oh.
I haven't scored once so far. I was listening really, like, I was really.
Yeah, no, I like, honestly, playing the game and talking is really hard. Like, we have had a lot of experience with it because, like, we end up, like, when you go to trade shows or whatever, or you're doing interviews, you end up having to play the game and talk. But even so, like, it's like.
I don't think you ever get used to it, right?
No, it's definitely like rubbing your stomach and patting your head at the same time.
I got used to that though. That I can do. So.
Hi, Katie.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. I had another question. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sorry. What was the name of the other person who started Metanet? I started.
Oh, Mare Sheppard.
Mare Sheppard. Okay. Hi. Who's better at N+ between the two of you?
Who's better? I mean, I might be better at this point because I've been doing these races and Mare has mostly been too busy. So, but it's basically, it was even when we were making it. And that's how, like, when we tested co-op and race and stuff, it was just the two of us playing together. So, yeah.
Sick.
That ended up pretty good.
Goodness. I can't think. I should have wrote down more questions. I don't know why I blanked.
That's cool. I bet people in the chat probably have questions.
Right. Well, Mare's been taking good care of it from what I can tell.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can, like, read it.
You're killing it.
So she's killing it.
Goodness.
She says thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, so you're from Canada, right?
Yep.
Born and raised?
Yeah, we're both from Toronto, but we just moved the company to Montreal like a month or two ago.
Gotcha. How big is Metanet now? Probably huge, right?
Oh, it's just the two of us still.
It's still just the two of you?
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, we definitely, like with N+, we worked with Slick Entertainment, and that was like another two people in Vancouver, like a programmer and an artist.
Gotcha.
Nick Wanders is the programmer, and what was the artist's name? I'm afraid I forget, but anyways, yeah, I think it's Jeffrey something. But like, so like if we're making something for consoles, like we can program, but we don't program like, you know, industrial strength programming.
Right.
So like the way it's worked so far is we just prototype everything in whatever, like C# or whatever language, and then we like team up with someone who can do whatever we can't do, like the programming or for N+, there was like a lot of 2D art and stuff that we couldn't do, or we really didn't have time to do because we were doing all the level design. Oh, I got lucky.
So close. Ooh.
But for N++, because it's all vector graphics, and we were really good at like Illustrator and Flash and stuff, we mostly did it ourselves. Although one of our friends, Lisa Harrison, helped us do some of the graphics, like the prototyping of the visuals and especially the color stuff. And we also for N++, we actually hired a graphic designer to help us like with the menu layouts and the fonts and stuff. So like we didn't do it all 100% ourselves, but like we definitely, like, it's kind of our baby, you know, it's our thing that we care about it a lot.
I mean, this game is like I mean, from like what, it dropped in 2008, from like 2009 until the Xbox One, we were playing N+. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, like it was one of those games. It was like, I don't know, maybe you guys played 360, right? Like that gen.
Oh yeah,
of course. You know, like those days where it was like those games you would always get on were like either Call of Duty with your friends, or you would for some reason go back to GTA 4, right? It was like one of those late night games. It was like, you know what, let's just play N+, and we did very often. Oh man. So I remember one time my friend Louis, right, who actually I asked him to come on, but he was like, nah man, you got it, that's all you. He gets so mad. I love him, but he gets so mad when we play co-op games. And he grew up best friends with the guy Kevin that was on the other stream, right?
Oh, nice.
So there was one time where I think for an entire 30 minutes they just cursed each other out while playing the game. Like,
yeah, co-op for sure has that effect.
Oh, yeah.
We would whenever like we were testing co-op, our shoulders would always be sore from the other person punching them. Yeah.
I mean, like, just like, you know, like Super Meat Boy, right? I think Super Meat Boy was inspired by N Plus, by the way.
It was actually, we're friends with Edmund.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, when N was in the IGF in 2005, he was in the IGF with Gish. He made Gish with a programmer called Alex Austin, and so like we met them in 2005, and we've kind of been friends since then.
You guys all just know each other? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty small world. Like indie games, especially in the early 2000s, like you did know, like we knew everyone that was making games. These days, it's exploded. But back then, like we definitely knew people. So yeah, we're friends. Like I remember it definitely. When Edmund made the original Meat Boy, it was absolutely 100% based on the original N. He emailed us to say like, hey, I hope you don't mind, but I kind of cloned N, like, winky smiley. But I mean, it's obviously it's a different style of, or like, you know, the actual mechanics are different because it doesn't have the momentum. But for sure, that was like the basis.
Right. Yeah. It's just like a really difficult game that you just like. You just played and tried to beat. It was just hard on purpose, and I don't know. Kevin especially was really into those games, and it still is, right? Like
that's cool. Yeah, like we didn't really think about it at the time. Like we didn't make it like really hard on purpose. But it definitely, when we were making the original N, that's when like casual games were really popular, and we really felt like we definitely tried to make it like anti-casual. Like we wanted something that you could really get good at, and that, you know, that rewarded skill, that kind of thing.
Right,
we didn't, and we didn't like set out to make this like massacre hard thing. And I don't actually know, like, the thing is, it wasn't just, like, in the same year that N came out, there was a game called Jumper. I don't know if you know, that came out.
Jumper?
But it's by the guy who made Celeste, Matt Thorston.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, he had been making hard platformers in the early 2000s as well. So I definitely think it was something that was just, like, in the air, because Jumper and N both came out, like, within a month or so of each other. So we were both kind of, like, us and him, I guess, were both, whatever was in the air, it was in the air on both sides of Canada, I guess. Basically. But actually, I hadn't thought about it until just now that, like, it's like, maybe massacre platformers are a Canadian invention. I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of historical research.
I died right at the end. Look.
Yeah. This level is notorious for people dying at that last. Oh, nice.
Oh.
It's that's karma for that first race.
Yeah, that's true. You got me back. Oh man. Okay, so N plus. Which one's your favorite of the three? Probably N, right? Because it's like the original.
Oh no, definitely N++.
Yeah.
It's way better. Like, I think we definitely preferred N to N+, just because, like, with N+, we weren't as in control of everything. And also, like, it was made under a lot of time and money pressure, so we couldn't do everything, like, the way we actually really wanted it. But with N++, the whole idea was to make, like, the perfect version of the original idea. You know, kind of, like, fix all the problems and make, like, take the basic idea of N and make it kind of the best we could. So, and we're really happy with how it turned out. Like, we didn't, when we were making N++, we were really stressed for years about whether it would be good. But like when it finally kind of came together, we felt great because like we're both like super proud with like how it came out. So yeah, definitely really. N++ is our favorite, and especially just for race mode. Like I feel like race mode, it's just like
the pinnacle
awesome.
of what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh man, now this, I mean, like you said, I feel like this is the third time I'm playing like N++, right, like ever, because I remember when I found out that it was coming out, I got super hyped, but
it was PlayStation.
It was a PlayStation first launch, right?
Yeah.
This was what, 2016, I think.
2015.
2015, yeah.
It was actually, it was supposed to be a launch title for PlayStation 4 in 2013.
Really?
But that was just like, the game is so big, and we got kind of very perfectionist, so it took, and it all, like, as usual, it just takes longer than you think.
Right,
but yeah, it is on Xbox One now, though. Better late than never.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I remember when it got announced that it came out. I was super hyped, and I didn't really have anybody to talk to because Kevin was like in Jersey or something, and like he wasn't really answering his messages that much. And I just completely fell off the wagon of like paying attention to when it actually came out. And then I think it might have been on sale on Switch when Kevin came over one day, and we were like, dude, we have to play Nplusplus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. And like,
oh, nice. Wait, so that stream was like your first?
Yeah, that was the first time either of us have ever played Nplusplus. Yeah, and I don't know. It was like, I loved it. Like, you've seen the stream. You know how much I loved it. And like Kevin's chaotic personality comes out so much because he's a screwball.
There was definitely a lot of Kevin being said. I remember that.
The quote of the entire stream was Kevin. Kevin. And that's it. That was in 360 days. That was Xbox One days. It's PS4 days. That's just Kevin in like all caps every time you play with him. And yeah, no, I didn't even put it on my wish list. Like, I feel really bad that I like missed out on picking up Nplusplus when it dropped. Because
that's cool. I mean, like, there's definitely not going to be another sequel, so you have all the time in the world.
I mean, hey, never say never. Come on.
No. We for sure like.
Yeah.
We kind of, the whole point of this project was that we've had like a really hard time working on non-end stuff because we feel like it's never as good as this game. So we wanted to kind of make one final version of this game to get it like out of our system, so we could. Oh, that was close. So we could like move on to the next thing with like, you know, without any, because it's like after we made N+, like part of the reason we made N++ was we didn't like N+. Like, you know, we felt like we could do a better job. So we don't think we can do a better job than N++. I mean, there's definitely a few bugs that we're still fixing, but
yeah, but
on
bugs
the
are
whole,
bugs.
we can't really see how to make it that much better. We think,
Wait, what just happened?
I think it slammed you into the ground. Those things boost you in whatever direction you're moving. So if you're moving down, it's.
I totally didn't expect that. Sorry. Right. Nplusplus
No.
is.
Yeah, we should have put those in more race levels because they're really those boost pads.
It's a fun mechanic. I was trying to like tamper with it to figure out what was happening, and then it just killed me. Right, so this is like the pinnacle of what you want to do. I mean, do you have any idea of what like genre you want to go to next, or is it just like whatever comes naturally, like inspiration strikes?
No, we have like a few, like we've got a few kind of half-finished games, or like, prototypes. That it's like, but we don't exactly. It's not like. We have a bunch of other platformer ideas, but we definitely want to kind of try doing a non-platformer first. So we have like an action RPG that is kind of coming along. We have a game that's hard to describe. That I guess I'd call it kind of like a simulator kind of game. But mostly we just have a bunch of little ideas that
you want to flesh out more, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we just like we were supposed to be starting it like that new stuff in like 2014, you know, when N++ was done. But it turns out we're only now getting around to it, like starting like right now, actually, working on prototyping new stuff, and we're even working on some non-game type projects, like we're doing a little music making thing.
Cool. You guys gonna put out an album?
Pardon?
You guys gonna put out an album?
No. I mean, we don't have any plans for putting out an album, but yeah, like we're definitely. Oh, whoops! I don't know what my plan was there. Okay, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, so the music from this game, where did that come from?
It's from all over, actually. I think it's 63 tracks that we licensed from 42 different record labels.
Goodness.
So we spent like months, like in the evenings and stuff when we were done making the game, we would listen to a bunch of music to try to find, like, you know, music that we thought worked well. And then we just, it was like a lot of emailing people and contracts and bank wires and stuff to get all the music assembled. And actually, we should say we got a lot of help. Oh my God, I've forgotten their name now. There's a number in it. It's the people who made Ollie Ollie. I forget.
Oh my God. Does anyone in the chat know? I can't. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyways, we really liked their soundtrack, and like I think one thing is we really like we were big fans of Wipeout, and that game really showed us like the electronic music can create a certain mood, and we thought that could really work well with this game, like the style of it. We're going for something that's like vaguely futuristic, so techno really works well.
Right.
And but anyways, we didn't know anything about how do you license music, you know, like.
Right.
And it actually is kind of a pretty involved process, and there's like a lot of technical terms and like. Anyways, the guys at whoever the developer is of Ollie Ollie, I feel like embarrassed, but it was like 6 years ago at this point. We just emailed them out of the blue. We didn't know them. We're just like, we really liked your soundtrack. Could you tell us how did you license all that music? And they sent us like amazing emails with like step-by-step instructions, and they explained all these music industry terms we'd never heard of, like most favored nations and all this other stuff about licensing music. And so thanks to their help, and also one of our friends from Toronto, Alex Jansen, he had licensed some music for one of his games, so he also, like, we basically just asked people that we knew or like friends, like, hey, how do you do this? And then they kind of told us, and then we tried it, and like it was a learning process for sure. We didn't get all the music that we wanted, but we were super like, what by the end of it, we feel like the music adds a ton, and for sure the feedback we've gotten from people, like everyone loves the soundtrack, and we're really proud of that because we just feel like in video games, I mean, we're friends with a lot of video game musicians and people who have composed video game soundtracks. So not to slight their work, but we really feel like there is a difference between music that's made for video games and, like, you know, quote unquote real music that would play in a club, or, you know, that a record label has thought good enough to press.
Right.
So, and we really feel like, I don't know, we think it's exciting. Like, we personally love finding out about new stuff, new cool things, and we thought like licensing music instead of hiring a game musician was just a way better fit, because it matches like the what we did with the colors and all the levels, where there's just like a huge variety of things. And if you hire one musician, even if they can do a bunch of different styles, you're not going to get the same huge vast array as like if you hire 60 musicians who have each spent a decade, you know, like developing their sound. So we're really super like happy with how it turned out. It was so much work though. It was like, and not like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah, no, it paid off dividends.
That you didn't hit a mine is actually pretty impressive. But yeah, anyways, like it was worth the dozens and dozens of hours spent doing contracts and standing in line at the bank.
And listen, like I said, it paid off dividends. It's an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, the only problem is everyone always wants us to release an OST, but we can't because we couldn't afford, like, we could only afford rights to use the music in the game. It costs a lot more if you want to put out the music on a record. And also, if we did like press it to vinyl, it would take something like 12 records because there's like 6 hours of music.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like I've never heard the same song twice. I mean, I've only played this, but even with Nplus, I'm blanking on the soundtrack for some reason, but I feel like it was kind of similar.
Oh no, like the Nplus soundtrack was literally 2 or 3 songs.
It's literally just 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah, and like the whole game and the entire game of Nplus was only 14 megabytes.
Really?
Yeah, which people complained about. So this one is like 4 gigs or something. I forget how big Nplusplus is, but it's huge in comparison.
Yeah, something like 4.
The fact that it was 14 megabytes actually was amazing for us, because it meant Microsoft made a version of the 360 that didn't have a hard drive.
Right.
It just came with like 256 megabytes in a little plug-in cartridge thing.
Right.
And because our game was so small, they put the demo of N Plus on every one of those Xboxes that came out. And that's really like the majority of why N Plus became popular, or why anyone played it, was that so many people tried the demo that came with their Xbox. And it was like totally by chance. Like they only included it because it was such a tiny game. It let them show off what you could get, without a hard drive. So
14
even though everyone complained, it was great.
I can't that is such a shock to me. I never would have guessed. 14 minutes, that's nothing, but it's so much. Oh my god. Okay, so what, you guys being sick of making levels is what made, Level Creator, I imagine, right?
Actually, it's really I mean, I don't know if it's a funny story, but actually no, there's always even the original Flash version built into it had the level editor that we used to make the game.
Gotcha.
Which we didn't think about as something weird. Like, we just, for some reason, it seemed natural to us that if you have a level editor, why not just let people use it? And I definitely think that was probably subconsciously inspired by games like Lode Runner that came with level editors.
Right.
But it's that was kind of like with N Plus being tiny, leading to it reaching way more people than it would have otherwise, and having a level editor. We just put it in. We didn't even tell anyone it was there. You had to know to press the tilde button, which is the secret hotkey to enable the editor. But even there, a huge community sprung up around the original N and making levels for it. And a guy called Nick Johnson actually made a really awesome database where you could take the levels that you made and upload them, and it would show a preview image. You could leave comments and rate them. It was a really cool thing called Numa.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, he went on. Now he works at Google, in part because his portfolio was this really awesome database that he made for us, completely for free. We didn't even know it was a thing. We found out. We were like, hey, wait, everyone's uploading levels to this thing. It's super cool. And so yeah, it's really the level editor has kind of been part of the game from the very beginning, even. Although the Nplusplus level editor is a bit easier to use. The original Flash level editor, I'm amazed anyone learned how to use it, because I don't actually even remember at this point, but I remember to save a level you had to press 4 or 5 keys in a row, and if you got the order wrong, it could completely ruin your level. It was not in any way user friendly. It was like a big mess.
But hey, people did it, and that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think we didn't realize how novel it was at that time. Being able to just make a level, it was not in the 80s and 90s, kind of when we grew up playing games, it was way more common to have level editors. But in the early 2000s, I guess, it just wasn't as much of a thing. It wasn't happening in AAA, so it just wasn't really happening. But yeah.
Sick. Goodness. I heard some meowing earlier.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a cat here.
I love cats. I had a cat named Kelly, and she was 22. She passed in April, but she was the sweetest.
Oh, actually, our cats are getting old. I think they're 16 and 14. So, yeah, 22. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we're really surprised. Last time we took her to the vet was like, she has the mouth of a 9-year-old. I don't see this cat dying.
Oh, that's actually, that's amazing. Because, cats get gum diseases a lot. It's really common.
Yeah.
Especially the older they get.
Yeah. We were really lucky with her. She was such a sweetie. Okay, I'm trying to think of another question, and I don't know. You said you're making a music making thing. That was a little vague. You don't want to get any more specific about that?
No. Yeah, I can. I mean, have you heard of a thing called Playdate?
Playdate, no.
It's a little handheld console that was just announced. It's it's almost like a Game Boy. It's black and white. It's very lo-fi, low tech in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's just for fun. We're making a little music making tool. I don't know. Because we both liked playing around with LSDJ on the Game Boy.
Right.
And like there's another music making thing on Game Boy. Oh, you killed me with a rocket that was following you.
See, I'm good at the game sometimes, I promise.
Yeah, so we were just kind of inspired by Game Boy music making software, and we wanted to see if we could make something. Because like I make music as a hobby, and I super am into like synthesizers and stuff like that. So we thought it'd be like really cool, like a cool fun project. Because everyone else is kind of making games for the Playdate, so we thought we'd try making something a bit different. But it's not announced. It's not official. It might not be released ever. But that's just what we're working on right now.
I mean, that's sick. Goodness. I hate blanking. Okay. Goodness. Are there 2 exits in that level? Well, sorry,
yeah.
I hit the mic.
Yeah, we got pretty weird with some of the race levels. There's like there's sometimes I think 4 is the most we put in, but yeah.
4 exits in one level?
Well, because some of them, the exit locks itself off after one person hits it, so you need to like leave exits for the other players. We got pretty sneaky.
How do you come up with ideas for like this motion sensor bomb? Like I remember when I was playing with Kevin, and we figured out that one of us needs to stand.
Oh yeah, you could stand on it. I remember that. At that level, actually, a lot of people get stuck on.
Yeah, because I'm amazed Kevin figured that out. He's smart. Don't get me wrong, but like, whoa, like what a great
honestly,
idea.
We didn't realize it would be such a mystery because we assumed anyone playing co-op would have played single player, and we have tutorial levels in the single player that kind of teach you can stand on it. So we assumed by the time you're hitting co-op you'd know that. But yeah, in practice we've seen a lot of streams where people just skip that level because they can't figure out what they're supposed to do. But the inspiration for that, because it wasn't in N or N+, is actually that and the Evil Ninja, like the little shadow version of you.
Right. I love that little shadow ninja, by the way.
Both of those are from 2007, actually, because in 2 different ways. Like the toggle mine, Atari, when they were making the handheld version, started adding a bunch of new stuff. And one thing they added that we really hated was a timed mine. It was like a mine where you touched it, and then like a few seconds later it would blow up.
Oh my goodness.
And it just felt terrible, because to us the game is about the player controlling everything, and having things on a timer, like just the idea of an arbitrary time doesn't work with the game design. Like we like it if the timing of things is based on the movement through the level, it's based on the tile design, so that you can kind of have different timings based on things you can change in the level instead of just like it counts to 3. We thought that it just didn't feel good, and we thought, when we were trying to argue with Atari, we told them, why don't you make it so that when you stand on it, it activates, and as soon as you stop touching it, then it's dangerous. So there's no time. It's driven by the player's own actions, just like everything else in the game. Like the whole core of the game design is that the player controls the level, but they didn't do it. And we're kind of like annoyed about that. And so we've never forgotten about it. So when we got around to making Nplusplus, it was like one of the first things we tried. And as soon as we tried it, we're like, this is amazing. Both in terms of like interesting co-op mechanics, but also because you can kill people with it in race mode. It's like hilarious.
Take that, Atari. We got you.
Yeah, it was good. Like I'm glad that they, in hindsight, it turned out great because they gave us the idea. And the Evil Ninjas, the Game Developers Conference, there's like a talk every year called the Experimental Gameplay Workshop, where people come and show weird games that they've like worked on, just weird mechanics. And so in 2007, which is like right when N+ was launching, we were at the Experimental Gameplay Workshop, and someone showed a game called Cursor Times 10, which I don't know like if you heard of it. It's like a web game where you play with yourself. It's like you go through the whole game clicking on stuff with your cursor, and then you die. And then you start again, but everything you did the first time still happens. You can see that there's a cursor moving around and doing whatever your cursor did the first time.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you get up to 10 layers of yourself cooperating with yourself. So when we were making N+, Mare really wanted an evil ninja enemy that would chase you. And I always thought that sounds impossible. Like, how are we going to do AI that knows how to play the game? Blah blah blah. Because I have this bad habit of making things way more complicated than they should be. And so when we're sitting there, Mare turns to me and she's like, "That's the evil ninja. You just do that. Like, just copy what the player did in the past." The problem is, since then, Mario Galaxy apparently came out and used that same idea. So unfortunately, we weren't as super original with that one. But just for reference, we did not copy Mario Galaxy. We copied Cursor Time. But Celeste definitely copied Nplusplus. I'm throwing down the gauntlet on that one. Both the Toggle Mines and the Evil Ninjas are in Celeste, and I think it's cool. Like, I think it's like when we made N, we borrowed from all the games that we liked, including Mario and stuff. And it's just like, it's super cool to us that we've inspired like Meat Boy and Celeste and like these like other platformers that we like. And because we were super inspired by platformers that we like, so I think it's like, I think that's really one of like the two most satisfying things about making these games have been like watching people play them and the reaction from fans, and seeing that other developers kind of noticed and like some of our ideas and stuff. And I think that that's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, God, it's such.
Wait, if I'm getting kind of if I'm getting a bit bold, then I'm gonna try claiming that we invented wall jumping.
Whoa, well now hold on a second.
We didn't really invent wall jumping. Like, I know Ninja Gaiden, a lot of games had wall jumping before N, but we're like, I don't think any game before N made wall jumping fast like running. Like, it was usually really stiff and tedious.
Yeah.
But we hated that. Yeah, exactly. And we were like, well, look, it should just be like running. It should feel like running. It should work like running. So I'm gonna claim that, because these days every platformer has wall jumping, but in 2004 it was unheard of. Like Super Bubble Blob, to be honest, they invented it because we only ripped it off from Super Bubble Blob. So to be fair, Super Bubble Blob, the developer of that called K&P Master, Click and Play Master, because it was made in an engine called Click and Play. Anyway, so okay, K&P Master, I guess, invented wall jumping is what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
You borrowed it, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the quote? It's bad artists steal, bad artists copy and great artists steal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Did I win? Oh, please tell me I won.
Oh my God, not another one of these.
Please tell me I won. Let's
go! Minish Mario? Oh, wait, yes! Wait, I forgot. Okay, so while I'm getting into controversial things, Mare totally reminded me of the most controversial one of all, which is that Miyamoto totally ripped off N. I'm just gonna throw that in there.
That is a hot take. I really want to hear this.
The very first New Super Mario Brothers, I don't know if you remember, for DS,
of course,
there was a mini mushroom, and if you ate the mini mushroom, you became tiny, and you had moon physics that feels exactly like N felt. And it came out like a year or two after N. So we don't know. We've met a few people from Nintendo. We've never met anyone that we could ask to find out if there's any official story. And it might just be a coincidence. But I swear, the mini Mario in the first New Super Mario Brothers
they are kind of
uncannily similar to the physics of N.
Now that
and so we've always suspected someone at Nintendo played the web version and maybe just tried, like, I don't know if they told anyone where they got it from, but this is my theory. I call it Shiggy steals a Ziggy. But Mare thinks it may be going a bit too far, so that's why it's so controversial. The debate rages to this day. Yeah, she claims it's a coincidence, but...
Hey, just email Nintendo and be like, pay me for my idea.
Well, then we'd have to pay them for running and jumping, so it kind of like... I think it evens out.
That's true, that's a good point. We love Nintendo, right? We love Nintendo. Everyone loves Nintendo here.
I mean, we definitely do. Like, it's super cool. Like, we think the Switch is awesome, and we've always been, like, for sure, the original 2D Mario games were huge inspirations for us. Like, especially Super Mario World. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some secret stuff in N++ if you keep playing the single player, and it's all inspired by Super Mario World. It's like literally straight from Super Mario World. We're just like, we liked it so much in that game, and we've always wanted to include secret stuff, and we figured like it was something we'd do in the game we made after N++. But then when we were making N++, we had this realization that with just the best part of the game, I think, of all the secret stuff and how it could all work, but it's purely because we spent like a decade wanting to rip off Super Mario World. So it was like in our subconscious the whole time, and it finally kind of came out.
I mean, don't spoil it, but can you tell me what mechanic from Super Mario World? Are you talking about like the exclamation point blocks?
No, just all the secret exits, I guess. The fact that there's secret stuff in the game that's just there. It's just a normal level, you can beat it, but then there's also some secret stuff hidden if you know. It's not like exactly like in Super Mario World, because it's a slightly different kind of game, but it's the same idea of there's a lot of stuff hidden in plain sight. That's all I'll say. But I'm sure if you ask Discord, people can tell you exactly how it works. But you don't need to worry about it. Once you've beaten all the levels, like that's when the real fun begins. So until then, don't even think about it.
I'm so curious now. I mean, I was gonna play the single player in case we ever stream again, so I could actually whoop your ass instead of these flukes.
Yeah, I mean, so far hosting is great, and I bet like if you're up for Parsec hosting, I like there are definitely a bunch of people on East Coast North America that would be into like doing some races.
Definitely, I gotta get better at this game. I have to.
Yeah.
I try not to stream too much of like the same thing.
Because,
like, this is actually I think the first game I've streamed twice. No, actually, I streamed Uno, but Uno's Uno, like the. But this is the first game I've streamed more than once. That's like not a generic party game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it's important to have like some diversity in what you do. You know, I don't want to be known for just one thing.
And you don't want to get bored either.
Exactly. I mean, I would never get bored playing this game. There's so much in this game. Like every time we go back to the menu to look at the levels, I like in my head I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But like it excites me. Like I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it gets back to the whole thing of like we knew from the start we're never making another one, and we know like there are a lot of fans who've been playing for 10 years, so we want to make sure it was like literally a lifetime's worth of this game. You could just play it for as many hours as you wanted, and still have.
That was a good read. That was a good read.
Still have new things to do and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely like I'd say at least hundreds of hours, depending on how. Like if you just want to beat the levels. Maybe it's like 100 hours. If you want to get all the gold, maybe it's like 500 hours. But
what's the reward? I mean, am I allowed to know what the reward is, or are you gonna make me actually go get all the gold?
I mean, the only reward is satisfaction. You get a little gold badge on the episode if you get all the gold in it.
Gotcha.
But there's also it might unlock some stuff. I don't know. Maybe.
Nice and vague. Very nice.
Yeah. In co-op, it doesn't unlock anything. You for sure, it's purely optional in co-op. But
gotcha. I mean, like good, right? Because imagine having to get every piece of gold with someone like Kevin, for example.
The co-op is so hard already, and some of the gold in co-op like harder than anything in single player, pretty much.
I mean, just that level with the motion sensor bomb was. I can't. Oh my god! Just the dread from getting every piece of gold in co-op. Very, very good call not putting anything as a reward for that.
Yeah, because we were really worried about doing achievement stuff. We try to keep it pretty easy. Just because we really wanted the gold and all the secret stuff to be optional, to be like for people, you know, it's like they beat the game but they want more, and so now there is more. But we didn't want to be bad where it's like you felt like you needed to do that or you hadn't beaten it. Whatever.
Gotcha.
Like we definitely think if you can beat every level in the game, that legitimately counts as beating the game. It's just like you maybe haven't beaten the New Game Plus mode, you know?
Right.
That's what we were trying to like. We're trying to use the gold kind of as that kind of thing.
Gold as a substitute for New Game Plus, which makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Exactly, because we were like. Oh.
Nice. Did I win? This is race 4, right?
Oh crap! Is it? Ah. Whoops! I should have paid more attention. I thought I had one more to back.
Nice.
I'm definitely gonna brag about this later. I hope you know that. This is, whew. I mean, you've beaten my ass. What, we played like 10. You've beaten like at least 7 times. I want to say.
Yeah, I think it's pretty even.
No. I'm. Has anyone been keeping score? Definitely not. I feel like I've gotten 3. Right, there was the first one, which was, whew, and then this one just now, and I think at least one more before that. Still, it's 3 more than I thought I would ever get.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty rusty.
Okay.
Like when we were making the game, we were playing the game like, hours and hours a day.
Of course.
So, because like half of making a level is just playing it.
Right.
But at this point, I only play when there's a race or something. So it's like maybe a few hours, maybe like 10 hours in the past year. So
Gotcha.
good. I gotta like bone up too if races start to become a more regular thing. I mean, even if you didn't want to stream it, if you just wanted to like play it and host, I'm for sure.
Oh, dude, I would love
people
that.
in the Discord would be all over, because like there have been a lot of people in Europe have good connections and they can host, but in North America it's been really hard to find a good setup. And unfortunately, I think our internet might be good, but all of our machines are Win 7, and you need to be Win 8 for
Gotcha.
Parsec for some reason. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
just like for sure, like hang out in the Discord if.
I'm
It's
trying
just, I
to
don't
get
know.
more
I
active,
find it
yeah.
super cool. Like that, it's such a like cool way to chat with people who play the game. Like, I guess we should really shout out to Danny Danman, who set up both our Reddit and our Discord. Which is like he really did an awesome job like getting the community together.
Shout out to Danny Danman. You're a real one.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, and apparently Steam, like, I mean, I knew that Steam has its own version of Parsec that announced like a week or 2 ago.
Local
So that
play,
might work.
right.
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but we'll
I hear
definitely
it's
try
good.
it. Yeah, we've heard Lord Day says it's good,
Gotcha.
and like we've heard some people have been doing races with that, so that would be awesome. I don't know if Win 7 is okay there, or, but
I mean, probably. I mean, that'd be a good test, right? Just to test
Yeah.
it out, make sure it works. Damn. Yeah, no, I've been really trying to get like, I've been really active on Twitter. I've been trying to get like better at Twitter, and Discord is like kind of new to me. Like I've had it for a while, but I haven't really like. I got on Discord when Super Mario 64 Online was like a big
cool.
thing. That was
I
oh my god.
I
Such a
haven't
good
heard of
time.
that actually.
Really? Oh my god. Okay, so you know that French modder Kaz Emmanuel?
Maybe.
He's like the quote unquote king of like, oh man, I thought I did. The quote unquote king of like modding Super Mario 64. Like he's made some of the sickest mods. He made like a working Cappy function in Super Mario 64.
Okay.
Like he's sick, and he made a version of Super Mario 64 that has like 8 different characters with their own abilities that you can play online. And when that dropped, like that's my little profile picture on my personal Discord, because I have an OddHour Discord, but you know, it's me and a Luigi waving at the camera.
Oh,
That's like, yeah, it's me. It's what I like. The reason I got Discord, because like, yeah, let's just get on the Discord and play Super Mario 64 online.
Yeah, that
And I'm
actually
really
sounds
fun.
like a really cool game. But yeah, I think we only started Discord like sometime in the past year or something.
Let me see if I can get you with this missile.
But yeah, it's definitely like really cool. Oh, I got lucky. There's a game developer called Michael Rowe that I'm a big fan of. So it was like super cool to be on his Discord and like being able to chat with him and like, I don't know, it's cool. It's just like,
It's a really cool way to connect with people. Believe me.
yeah, for sure. It's kind of like, it's like a forum, but like slightly, I mean, there are pros and cons, I guess. Like it's a bit easier to use. I wish it was as easy to like find old conversations as a forum, but can't win them all.
Yeah. But still, I mean, like it keeps like, honestly, if I'm being like brutally honest, I would never have expected N plus or N++ to have such a like a big following, right? Like to the point where it would even have like a Discord. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's something
like,
that we've always been super proud of is that we've always had like a pretty good community of people playing. That, I mean, we don't exactly know. We like to think that the game is good, so of course people like it. But for sure, it's like it's like a really niche, pretty
saying, like,
underground game like that a lot of people haven't heard of. And I don't know exactly how we always end up with this awesome community of like really cool. I think it could actually, like, I think part of it for sure is the level editor, because I think that just attracts people who are kind of creative and they're into, you know, doing stuff and
right.
And being social online and like showing people the stuff that they made. So I think that might be a factor. But I mean, in general, I think we just got really lucky, and like we've always had a really awesome community of like super fun people.
No.
I don't know how.
I mean,
I don't even know about like does Celeste have? I mean, I'm sure it has a big community because it's like a really popular game, but like, are they all really nice, cool people who make cool levels? I don't know.
Probably not, because N+ is just, it's so like, I don't, for me at least, like that's what I'm saying. Like, for me it was just like, it was one of those games. Yeah, that totally wrecked me. It was one of those games where it was like, only me and my friends know about it. No one else knows about this game, because every person I've talked to in my life, I'm like, yeah, me and my friends were playing N+ last night. And they were like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, you've never heard of it? Like, but so I've just gotten used to like people not knowing about it, and to know that people know about it and it's still like an active community is it's so nice, you know?
Yeah, it's super cool. Like actually it's funny because usually if we meet someone who's heard of it, they've heard of N+ for 360, because that's that's the most popular version that we made because of that whole like pack in with the Xbox thing.
Right.
So it's so funny because like usually it's like our experience is if you meet someone and they know our game, it's because of the version like that you played. Oh, sorry. There's a question from Big Cube Fan about Mint, but I don't actually know what Mint is. Oh, wait, hold on. Mathematics. Oh, that's cool. Oh, he said apparently a lot of people in the community have like a math background or like an engineering kind of background, which is interesting. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, we're definitely both math fans. We're not necessarily great. We're not great at math, but we both like puzzles. We like, you know, kind of nerdy things maybe, and science. And definitely, I think someone pointed out that a lot of N level names are like computer science jokes. And Mare and I met in computer science in university, so for sure there is like a computer science theme to N. Like we start counting at 0 instead of 1 as a little like programming joke. So I can see, I think like it's interesting if that flavor of the game somehow, yeah, appeals to certain people. We hadn't really considered that, but that's cool actually.
I mean, I used to love math, and then trigonometry ruined me. And I like to the point where, oh, all right, here's a little embarrassing fact, since, you know, computer science is the topic right now. I took Intro to Computer Science 3 times in college. I went to 2 classes total.
Wow.
Because honestly what it was is I hated myself. And like I just couldn't get up that early to go to computer science, you know? You know, like that period of college where you're just miserable.
I know it. No, I know exactly. There was a really awesome math course in university called Chaos, Fractals, and Dynamics, which is like the cool, you know, it's like of course.
That's just a cool name.
Yeah, but it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
So I signed up for it. Like for my last 3 years, I would sign up for it, and then I wouldn't attend a single class in the first month, and I'd drop it like while I had the chance. Finally, in my last year, I found a friend who wanted to take it, so we would kind of do every other course. One of us would go to it, because like we couldn't both make it to all. Ridiculous, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And actually, I failed linear algebra in university like twice. And I got demoted to a minor. I was supposed to major in computer science, but I got such a bad mark in calculus that they kicked me out of the major. But actually, that ended up being a good thing because I had a lot more free time to learn how to make games.
Right. And
That's definitely something they did not teach you in computer science class back then. Mostly we just learned like boring programming. It's good. Like they taught us definitely the basics of programming. Oh, sorry, this level's too easy for Rocket. It's called Rocket Murder. But yeah. It ended up being great because like my friends who stayed in majors, like they would spend every waking hour doing homework. And since I was only taking a minor, I had like almost no computer science homework. It was awesome. So best of both worlds.
So here, really quick, I know you said it was going to be an hour. I'm sure you have other stuff to do. Last question. For university...
Oh yeah, no, we gotta go soon, but we got
a few more? Let's finish this set and then we'll call it a day?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, it's good. Mare's got to take... But yeah. No, like we actually have, like, I don't know, at least another 10 minutes.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Yeah, oh good, a half hour. I don't know. Like basically, yeah, all right. I mean, if you have to go, that's cool. But like, if
no, I do not have to go. Believe me, we can spend the rest of the night here. I would be totally fine.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Let's keep going then. Sure. I'm not gonna be able to read chat though, so.
I'll try to monitor in between levels. If anyone has questions, I'm gonna be looking at chat now.
Thanks, man.
I know I'm not special, but you know, I'll try my best. So in university in Canada, do they kick you out of your major if you do terrible?
I think that may have just been specific to computer science. Like, it was definitely, there was a rule. You had to get at least a 65 in calculus to be in a major, and I got like a 50. I definitely failed, but so many people failed, they bell curved a bunch of people up to 50.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, no, I think it was just like, and also I think the University of Toronto, wait, what am I doing? I thought
let's just do that.
University of Toronto does have like a pretty prestigious computer science program. So I guess they're just trying to like weed out the bad students so that they could maintain their high standards.
Of course.
I don't know, but
no, because my college was like, "What do you want your major to be?" And like for the first 2 years, I was like, "History," and they're like, "Okay," and that was that.
Nice.
I got like a 2.7 GPA. And they didn't
I
really say
had
anything.
a 2.9. Like the problem I had was I got a lot of A's and then I got a lot of D's. Because it's like if I liked the course, I'd be really into it. But then if I didn't like the course, it's like you don't go to class and you don't, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it was like super mixed. And actually, I didn't have a major. I ended up I was the last year that University of Toronto offered a triple minor. Which is awesome because it's like you don't have to do so much of the hard stuff. It's like you can basically just do the easy fun courses mostly.
Right. Yeah.
So it was awesome. I think.
I'm never gonna beat this.
I think it was computer science, philosophy, and cinema studies, which
one
ended up
course?
actually being pretty cool for video games. Oh, sorry, pardon?
You said it was. Those are your 3 minors, or that was just one course? Because that was a lot.
Oh, no, that was my triple. I had a minor
got it.
computer science and philosophy and in cinema studies, 3 minors.
Gotcha. I thought that was one course, and I was like, goodness. Yeah, no, let's see. I started, and I was like, oh, I want to be like an astronomy major, because, physics for idiots, and I was an idiot. And then I realized that the college I was going to had like a terrible, just didn't have a... I thought it didn't have an astronomy program, and then it did, and I didn't find out until the month before I graduated. So I was like, yeah, I was like, what am I gonna do now? I'm done. There wasn't really anything else to do. But oh man, so I went in thinking astronomy, and then I found out I couldn't because meh. And then did I beat you again?
Damn it! Yeah, I almost got you at the top there. Yeah, astronomy, that's cool. I think I took 2 astronomy courses. I know about the Oort cloud. I wish I should remember, but whatever the equation of the guy who figured out how much intelligent life there must be out there, it's just like a bunch of factors multiplied together.
Right, yeah. See, my astronomy class sucks apparently because they never taught us that.
Well, no. My astronomy class was astronomy for non-science students. It was they only taught you the fun stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of our assignments was we had to read a science fiction novel and write something about it. So it was not not serious astronomy.
My I'll just finish because I'm never gonna get that gold and be good enough time. In high school, the astronomy class I took, they made us write an essay on why flat earthers are just like fake. That was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't know if you're a flat earther. I don't mean to step on your beliefs.
Oh no. Actually, there's a funny in-joke in game development is that JW, one half of Flambeer, he's not a flat earther, but he's like a fan of flat earth conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. They do have some pretty hilarious theories. Oh, the Drake equation.
That's
Thanks, Untamed Nim. Yes, that's exactly the equation I was trying to think of.
Drake equation. I don't know. I like Drake as a rapper. I don't think you should be getting into astronomy personally.
Yeah, he's from Toronto also.
Oh, and I'm sure being from Toronto, everyone's like, so you must be a Drake fan, right?
Yeah.
Are you a Drake fan?
No. I do like some hip hop, but not the Drake type.
Yeah, I'm a huge Drake fan.
Oh, nice. Well, you're from New York, so you know like DJ Premier.
I have no idea who DJ Premier is.
All right. Anyways, that's like it's like a '90s hip hop basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not really
and also
hip with like
Wu-Tang stuff
anymore.
like that.
Oh yeah, of course. Beastie Boys, I love.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with my sister was 4 years older than me, so I grew up on NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Spice Girls. So I went to a Backstreet Boy concert and like people looked at me because they were like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm a fan of the music." Like just you know the looks that people give you and it's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Like, come on. But I knew I knew most of the words. People were kind of impressed after that.
That's cool.
The Earth. Oh man, hold on, wait. The Earth is flat, but it is among thousands of flat Earths distributed across a giant ice sphere, which explains the ice wall surrounding the flat Earth. See, we're getting hit by facts. You beat me. Congratulations. Ugh. Okay, so there's been 14 now, or 15 now. One of us obviously has to have the majority, and it's you, right? It has to be. I don't know. I'll go through the stream and I'll put like a little tally because I want to upload this for YouTube, and I'm going to put out the stuff because no incriminating stuff. We want you to continue doing what you do.
Nice. Do you want to go to the end of the row then? Do
you want to go to? You want to skip everything? Forget the progression?
Oh yeah. No! I mean like keep playing until then.
No, yeah, sure. That way there's an even amount, and you'll have an even number, so we can't say it was a fluke.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. No,
there's still 4 more to go. I feel like it could be tied up.
Okay.
Damn.
It could be tied up, but it won't be. I came here knowing I'd get my ass kicked, and I want my ass kicked. I do. It's like, how am I supposed to compare it to someone who literally developed the game?
Yeah, I've got a cheat code that makes your ninja move slower. That's my secret.
I've played this game like 3 times in my life, so you could be telling the truth, and I would have no idea. That was a terrible... I realized as I was falling down how much of a bad idea that was. It's
actually amazing. Like, you're for 3 games. It must be because you have significant like N+ skill in the brain already. Because
yeah, muscle memory. I'm also just really talented at platformers. Not to toot my own horn, but.
Oh no, that's cool. There's I think someone else, was it Andrew Weinstock, someone from the community, I think it was him, who basically when he found out about N++, he hadn't heard of N or N+, but he was just really good at platformers, and so he was like immediately he was as good as someone who was playing for years, despite just having started playing. It was really cool. Really cool to see.
One time I told my mom that I loved Mario more than her when I was like 2 years old. If that gives you an idea of where I stand on platforming
Nice.
games.
Yeah, you've got it in your blood.
Oh, did you get got to? Nice. Okay, now I have a
Yeah,
chance.
the laser at the end is pretty hard.
Oh my god. Okay. I had to look at it for a second. Ooh. See, if I actually had meant to do that jump, that would have been really smooth. Half the time in this game, I'm like making a mistake, and it just pays off. Oh my god.
We might get you suck mode on this one.
Oh, if we die too much, we get you suck mode?
No, if no one has beaten the level, I think by default it's 2 minutes. If no one beats the level in 2 minutes, it starts deleting enemies to make it easier. we found when we were playtesting with groups that people who've never played the game, it's like they couldn't. Anyways, it was just something that made the game better. That I believe Mare invented You Suck mode. I went out to get lunch one day, and when I came back, You Suck mode was a thing.
I tried to juke you out and I couldn't.
Yeah, I almost crashed the rocket. That was narrow margin.
It's a me, the woman who birthed you. Yeah, no, I didn't know what You Suck. I saw it on like the pause menu, and I was like, what is that?
Oh yeah, you can turn it on manually. I forgot. That's true. You can just turn it on. If you admit defeat, the game will have mercy.
Okay, so Metasplosion Man definitely ripped that off of you because. I mean, wait, Metasplosion Man came out first.
Oh no, wait, it has a You Suck mode?
Oh, okay, so what it is, it's actually really funny. Are you familiar with Splosion Man and Metasplosion Man?
I am. I've heard of Splosion Man.
In Metasplosion Man, at least. There might be one in Splosion Man, but I don't remember off the top of my head. In Metasplosion Man, there's a mode that's like, you can skip to the next checkpoint. And it's like, you know how like Twisted Pixel is with how they develop their games, like how like funny they are with like everything that they put. It's they said it was like a romantic novel where it's like, oh, the next checkpoint, she knew how much it tempted her, but she wouldn't dare. And like if you do it, whatever the music is for the level changes completely. And it's a song that they wrote called Badonkadonk. And I know it because I listened to it because I was like, I'm a huge Punch-Out fan, and I knew that the final boss was a Punch-Out reference, so I was like, I just want to see that. So I ended up like skipping the rest of the game just to beat it. And like the song is like, if you got a big old booty and you know that you're a cutie, then boom. And they make your character model have like a really fat ass. And you have to beat the level.
Like that? Oh man, we
Like
should have
that.
stole that part.
I wouldn't call it
Too
You
bad.
Suck mode, but it's like a little similar. It's like a little cheat that does something.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't play until the next checkpoint. It plays until you beat the level. And it's like there's like truck backing up sounds like the beep beep. Oh man.
Uh-oh. We might get it again on this level. They're getting too far in the road. The level's getting...
This is, I mean, oh, that's what, like, I'm trying to figure out where, like, the bottom, oh my goodness, I kicked the mic. Big booty and tight ninja guy. Oh, big blarg with the big brain over here. Huh? Okay, can I do this? Come on. Ooh. Get under. No. Ah! I knew what I needed to do, but I realized it too late. Yeah, no, we're never gonna get this.
It's okay, once one of the lasers... Oh,
You
wait,
suck.
there it is. Okay, so the thing about You Suck mode is whoever makes it to the exit wins. The other person just explodes.
Oh, sweet. No pressure.
So it's winner take all.
Okay.
Oh, but the bottom laser's gone.
Sweet. Now we can actually beat it.
Go!
You...
Yes!
Oh my god!
Oh, that was kind of cheating.
No,
but...
that was so sick. Like, I have so much respect for you for pulling that. Oh my god. That was so sick.
Oh. Oh. That was awesome.
That was really cool. Oh man. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here comes a victory for Mukhtar. We're going. No big talk or anything. I was afraid that I was gonna splat. I remember the first time that I like ran so hard and splatted into the ground, and I was like, "Oh, really? Really?"
Yeah. That was actually that was a bug.
It was a bug.
Well, because we had like fall damage wasn't a bug. That was definitely like it was a way we thought because it's a single screen. Having fall damage just makes the vertical movement like way more interesting. But the way we coded it, the bug was you could take fall damage from the ceiling. So if you hit a jump pad and it slams you into the ceiling, you could die, which we didn't expect. And it's like we didn't even know about it until the game was out. and then people would show us replays of them dying that way, and we're like, oh, whoops. But it turned out to be so hilarious that we added it to Nplusplus on purpose. Like, we actually made it a bit easier to die that way. And you can die from walls in the same way if you're moving too fast. Just because it's so funny. Like, it's really, really funny when it happens.
It is really funny. I remember, oh no, okay, so it was when I splatted for the first time, and when I wall jumped too high and hit the ceiling once, that I, like, threw the controller down, and I was like, Louis, did you see what just happened? Oh, man. I wish there was a way to, like on Switch, and like on Switch at least you can tell how many, and Steam, that's what I was thinking of, you could tell how many hours you put into a game. I'm really curious to know how many hours I put into N+, because that's like, oh man, it was a really big portion of my time on Xbox. That, GTA 4, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 2. Nice. Damn.
Yeah, it's too bad. Like, we really wanted to do online multiplayer for N+, but like we just had to get the game done, and we couldn't really afford to do that. And there's online level sharing, so you can like upload your own levels and everyone can play them. Right. So we kind of had to cut. We had to cut the online, which sucked because like so many people were fans of N+ exactly for the multiplayer. Yeah. So I'm really glad that Parsec is working. Like, it's so cool that you can actually play multiplayer with people now. Because we for sure think that the multiplayer modes are like the most fun. Like we knew N+ was popular. Like the multiplayer was really popular with people.
But even now, even without like the local, like us playing right now is a godsend. But like it's just inviting your friend over to play like a couch co-op game is still like such like a missed experience, you know?
Yeah, we really like that too. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you know what you did.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, we definitely really, like, we think multiplayer by far the better way to play. It's just, like, I know these days everyone's spoiled and, like, everyone's just used to playing online. So, unfortunately. But yeah, we for sure, like, we grew up in the, like, way before the internet. So,
I was born in '96. So,
dang.
N64 was my thing growing up, so I always had people come over playing Mario Party and things like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Mario Kart on 64 was for sure
so fun. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what though, the one thing I hated about Mario Kart 64 multiplayer was that, like, if you had 3 people, it was just you 3. Like, they took out the computer. And that always bothered me about that. It was like, because, you know, beating up on the computer is fun, because now it's just super personal, and you would get, like, as mad as you would. You won! Damn, I was so close. Race mode Nplusplus is some of the most fun gaming to be found anywhere. You can definitely argue it is the best part of the game. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't, like, honestly, it was just an idea. Plus,
you cut out for
but it wasn't as, like, we didn't really design it as well. Like, in Nplusplus, I mean, really, it's the rocket. Oh yeah, sorry. This
I was like, wait a second. You cut out. Start that sentence over.
Oh, I mean, there is a race mode in the 360 version, but it wasn't really as good because, like, we didn't design the rules really to work. And also there was no rocket mode. Like, as soon as we thought of adding the rocket mode, which we were kind of inspired by Bomberman. I don't know if you like ever played Bomberman.
It was like a couple times.
Yeah. It's like when you die in Bomberman, you're like a ghost around the outside of the level throwing bombs in. And so it's fun. Like, it solved this design problem of, like, when you die, you're not just bored waiting for other players. You can still kind of participate. Right. But also, it's just hilarious. Like, it's actually mechanically, it's really important. Like, in order to come back in race mode, you have to be rocket murdering whoever's in first, right. Or you're like you can never make it. Kind of. Anyways, it's the only way to take down the leader, really. And it's just so, like, when you pull off a really good rocket murder, it's like the most fun thing in the game.
It works. It definitely works. And it's so infuriating to get caught by one because I know it's like a mind game, right? And like, it's like, oh, are you gonna be able to read my jump? And then you do.
It's like rock paper scissors. It's like jump or no jump, you know? But it's still like actually really interesting somehow.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, actually, I've been watching. Getting really good with.
You cut out again. You've been watching what do really good?
Oh, sorry. Race. Some of the community playing race games, and yeah, the people have gotten deadly with the rocket murders.
Ow.
Oh.
Oh no! Ah! Come on! Come on! Come on! No! 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 Oh! You took the bullet. Let's go!
Oh no! I don't know. I like was trying to do that to you. I don't know why I forgot about that as a possibility. Like that's a thing that could happen.
Yeah, you like.
Oh
my god!
That was a bit stupid.
Here comes the comeback. Here's the comeback.
I've done that exact same fail in that exact same level before.
Oh man. Do you ever regret making this game as difficult as it is? Probably not, right?
Honestly, there were times testing the co-op level where I did feel pretty angry at ourselves for making the levels so hard, but we felt like we had to make it hard because like some fans have been playing for like 10 years and we didn't want them to be bored, you know, like we wanted the game to challenge them.
Right.
So we tried to make like the intro, and in solo, the single player levels definitely start pretty easy. Like it starts easier than N+, but then gets way harder than N+ by the end. So it's kind of like goes more extreme in both directions.
I want the gold. I'm greedy. And you're gonna kill me with the rocket anyway, so.
Well, we'll see.
Oh!
I was watching you, and I kind of forgot. I need to be paying
no
attention.
excuses. Come on,
Yeah.
come on. Oh!
Nice.
I hate that. I hate that when you're just like that close and you miss. Oh.
Yeah. That's like dying on the last mine happens so often. Watching people stream the game, it's like almost unbelievable how frequent it is. Like and it's something we've noticed too. And I think it's just purely the psychology of it. Like you get really stressed and that makes you make mistakes, but also you might just get cocky and sloppy and then you just hit that last mine.
Yeah. That last jump, I got nervous, so I didn't put all my momentum into it when I 100%
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah, you really got to commit sometimes.
I was trying to land on the platform and juke you out, and it didn't work.
Yeah, this level is really tricky. Like the rockets are kind of on that one.
I always liked when you design levels, do you make them shapes on purpose, or do they just end up being like that? Because I remember in like N+, there were like a few things that looked like something, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
dude, look, it's like
we do that sometimes. Like there are so many levels that we basically any method you can think of making a level, we've tried it. Because like that's kind of how we stopped from getting bored or running out of ideas. Is like we just would try to come up with different ways of starting, you know, different like ways of approaching the level design. So like there are definitely levels that have started as like kind of shapes of things that exist, but not all of them. But yeah, definitely some of them.
What? Whoa! I got really into it.
Whoops. This one's tricky.
Oh, did you get? Oh, a chance?
You still have to not make any mistakes.
Oh, good.
Whoops.
There I go. So this is a timing. You have to time the first bounce.
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
And it changes too. It gets the timing requirements get harder and harder. Whoops.
Yeah, you have to hit the slope, right? Because there's no way I can perfectly jump on all three. There's not enough time. Okay.
No.
All right, here we go. Ooh.
Finally.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
The music just got kind of intense for me.
Yeah, this track is pretty stressful.
No.
All right. Well, you made the first one easier.
You're welcome. Oh man.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was.
Hey man, you literally made this game, so, and this is you. All the pain you inflicted on how many thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people who have played this game. All the pain you've caused them. I'm not gonna say you deserve it, but. Alright. See, Kevin just texted me. He got out of work.
Oh, nice.
I told him to come on. He said he can't access his Twitch, the friggin' liar. He's supposed to be joining the Navy soon, actually. Please don't kill me. I want to finish this.
Alright.
I want to actually do it.
We'll see.
Okay.
Are you gonna get greedy and go for
No, I'm not. Out of respect for you.
Oh, no, please do, because it'll increase your chances of... I'm sorry, I shouldn't have goaded you on.
Let's be real, it was gonna happen anyway. I was thinking, I was like, should I get the gold? And I was like, oh wait, this is a terrible.
This one is really tricky. Oh, whoops.
Let's just send all of them your way. Oh, you died. Never mind.
No.
Ooh. No. Okay. I keep accidentally triggering them. This is a.
Yeah,
this is,
I need to concentrate on climbing up rather than. Oh no!
I died from the fall damage and then killed you.
Yep.
Okay, so what are these enemies called? I don't know if they're really enemies.
Yeah, they're called shove thwumps. That was sadly one of the things we had to cut. Was they're supposed to be like a dictionary, like the original, where we kind of show you all the enemies and name them and stuff. But sadly, it got cut. But yeah, we call them shove thwumps because those crushing the crushing enemies that are safe on three sides are just called thwumps.
Thwumps, okay.
And they're called that because they're obviously inspired by thwomps from Mario, but for copyright reasons, we changed the name slightly so that hopefully we won't get sued. But
if it works, it works. What the hell? Why did you do this? Aha! Okay, come on. No, there's no way. How is anyone supposed to do that? Honestly.
Yeah, it's hard. Maybe it's a bit too hard, but it's like the really level in the row. We felt like it should be hard, you know.
I'm pretty sure you're like, yeah, there's 4 left. You could probably make a comeback, and then you just swept me. Has 4 complete like demolishing victories, and I think one of them I was a little close, but damn. All right, that was awesome. Thank you so much. 100%. Let's do this again. I'll save the co-op row for you. We'll just go through rows every time.
Cool.
If you want, no pressure.
I mean, we're definitely busy in November, like early December. But you can keep playing them, and we could just play
of course,
whatever,
you know?
Yeah. But yeah, sure, that sounds cool. And yeah, we should definitely I guess just message me. But also if you feel up for hosting 4-player races, there are for sure some NYC area people who or other East Coast people who could parsec, who'd be up for that for sure.
Thank you for reminding me about parsec, because I wrote it down and I never looked into it and I completely forgot about it. And then when you said it, I was like, that's what I was supposed to use. So this helped me learn it, and I'm really excited to start using it.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's a super cool program for sure. And shout out to Kodiku. He's a guy from the forums too. He actually works at Parsec, and he really helped. He wrote a bunch of cool guides that are helping everyone, understand how to use the program. So thanks for doing that. That's really cool.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, everybody watching. We're gonna hop off stream now. All right.
Nice. All right.
Thanks for watching, guys.